To him who has much, more will be given. To him that has little, even what he has will be taken away. This is the word of God, the word of the Lord. You know, the incarnate word of the Lord is Jesus Christ. So, you know, that's who said it. Now, what this means to me, and for the executive outline, is the sense of competition. What I'm doing here is I don't feel that I have any colleagues. Okay? I'm a minimum wage worker. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a thousandaire. I'm not even a hundredaire. Okay? Alright? So, am I going to be able to ever accomplish these things? No. So, what little I have, I mean, even that's taken away from the bigger machines that are more successful. The things that have learned and succeeded and accomplished. You know? The corporation. You know? Okay? I mean, not the corporations, but the things that succeed. Now, but the spirit of competition is that for the most successful one, this one is treating everyone else like it's, or treating, you know, everything else is competitor, and it's so successful and so good that it can accomplish anything, you know, and it can win because it's doing what works. You know, it's discovered what works. It's not some gaming, you know, from somebody's game that a kid's playing. You know, it's like reality. You know what I mean? So anyway, but for people, and this is going back to like what presidents have said, you know, like so suddenly if we had some other thing, some other aliens that came down, then how quickly will we all become colleagues again? Because that's the spirit of competition. See what I'm saying? Like we all have these different things, and then but it's these little tiny groups, and so like the country is just spotted with all these masses of little tiny groups. Okay, you know, and some grow, some gain more, you know, and then we got the big caps, you know, and then the small caps, you know, and these will be eaten up, you know, or they'll join the better machine. But what I have to do is I have to do the way things that I'm doing because I'm not a colleague of the scientists. I'm not a colleague of NASA. I'm not a colleague of the military. I'm not a colleague of the executives. And I'm not treated that way. You know, I'm not thought of that way. I'm not respected that way by other people. I'm something else. You know what I mean? So I don't have any colleagues because of my mindset and how I think and the things that I think about. I don't have any colleagues in my own personal life. That nobody around me wants to talk about these things. Nobody around me wants to think about the same things that I want to think about. You know? Oh man, and you should have seen what happened when I decided that the Bible was true and I started to read the Bible. You should have seen how quickly people fled away from me in my own social circles. But the thing that I was thinking is that this greater machine, you know, and this works for governments too, so it's like the United States of America. This is why it's the world leader, because it's the machine that works. It's the great machine that works, right? And has become the most successful. And so people will join the successful machine and become colleagues and then be accepted and be thought of as equals and be treated as a part of what works and what can accomplish, you know? But it still has to work against something. And so others are still not able to be the colleagues. They have to be the competition. Now, you know, and I don't want to get into like wars and stuff like that, but what's interesting about space is you don't need aliens for that either. Like, I seen somebody say that President Johnson was the one that made the quote about if aliens were there, how quickly all human race would become colleagues rather than competitors. But I thought it was Reagan that said that, you know. So I mean, you know, that's just how that goes. I mean, people make mistakes when they say stuff. You know, who cares? We don't have to sit there and blow a fuse over it. So, but with it, we don't need aliens to be able to do that with space. So space is there, and placed there, and the challenges are so great, and in the life or death situations, and the glorious life-saving things that each of us can do, and all of our ideas, and all the things that we do as colleagues of a corporation, you know, of a group, you know, of the machine that works. All of these things now have the challenges placed before us of space. Okay? And so that's the competition now. Understand? So we have to make the machine the best way that we can that it works. We have to make the best machine we can as colleagues because it's so important to make it work against space, because space is now our competition, and it is a tough place. So we need all the help we can get.